Oh, hey, howdy, hi! Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by to join me today. I really do appreciate it. My name is Ellie, and I'm a witch, and this over here is my teaching assistant, Andy, and today we're going to, chat shit. So today's video will be something I've never done before, which is just me chatting shit with you guys. So we are going to decorate Andy's little shelf. It is a little bit set up already. I just have a few decorations to put up for him, but I'm going to talk to you guys about the, I almost said midlife crisis, not quite there, my quarter life crisis, because I'm turning 25 soon. So looking at Andy in his little PJs, I changed him from Mothman into his little PJs. I'm not sure if he'll stay in this, because he also has like a little like Santa hat, and I got him a lizard. I didn't get him a lizard costume. The costume that he wore last year to be Santa Claus was a lizard costume, but I didn't know that they made those for lizards, but that's what he was wearing, and this year it's Build-A-Bear PJs. So we'll start with putting some lights on his tree. I'm thinking that I can, because I did it last time, use these wrap around the tree. There's a hole in the back of the fireplace that I drilled, so I think I can feed a light and kind of make it look like the fireplace is going, but we'll see. It helps if I get batteries. That'll be in a little bit project. So let's just jump into this. So I turned 25 on the 25th of December, which is crazy. But I've just been like thinking like more about like what I assumed my life would be like, or kind of like what I pictured my life to be as, or like where I thought I would be. And I come to realize like I'm not anywhere near what I thought I would be, and it's hard to not like compare yourself to your peers, because a lot of the people that I went to high school with, they have like degrees, or they're buying houses, or they have children, and what not all of that is something that I personally want. That's not to say like it doesn't feel like I'm behind them. I don't think I've ever said it on the internet, but I originally, since I was like in kindergarten, I wanted to be a teacher. It started out, I just wanted to teach in general. It wasn't that I had a specific like inclination to a specific subject, but that's what I always thought I was going to do. I always thought I was going to teach. And so when I went to college, I wanted to do secondary education, or I wanted to get a degree in secondary education, specifically history. For those who don't know what secondary education is, that would be high school. And whenever I did it, it didn't quite work out. They put it in wrong, but that's neither here nor there. But I I almost have an associate's, but I got there, and I just realized that that's not what I want to do with my life. And so at like 21, I realized that I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life all of a sudden, and having thought that I was going to be a teacher from the age of like 5 or 6 up until I was 21, and then just realizing that's not what I want to do, it was weird, and I didn't like know where to go from there, and it kind of, I don't want to say I spiraled, but I felt very lost. And so part of me from that age until now was trying to like figure out like what I did want to do with my life. And so I've come to the conclusion that I want a doctorate in history, and I want to be a museum curator, and eventually I think I want to be a professor, which is super fun, career goal wise, but that is a lot of work, and I can't use most of the credits that I got for my associates. So it's a long road, but it just feels like I am behind what everybody else is doing. But I'm trying like not to think about it in those terms, because you know we all have different paths and we all get to our goals in like different ways, but it feels weird. So if you're like me and you feel like you're behind, just know you're not, and you're also not the only one who feels that way, and you're also not the only one who is reevaluating your whole life whenever you realize that what you wanted to do is not actually what you wanted to do, or that it's not going to work out. Something a little bit less heavy. So being born on Christmas, I get asked all the time, do I like it? And the question that I get asked the very most about being born on Christmas is, do I get presents for my birthday and for Christmas, because that seems to be like the consensus, is that everybody feels like I would not get separate gifts. And I'm sure that there are families, I'm not going to say that there's not. If that was your family, I'm very sorry. But I don't understand why people think that I wouldn't. So I always have to say, like, yeah, my family made it very clear that, like, my birthday and Christmas are separate things. Not to say they're separate days, like obviously that's not true and we celebrate it on the same day. But yeah, I get separate presents. I don't really know what people expect me to say. They're always surprised when I say, "Oh yeah, obviously." But that's really like the biggest question that I get surrounding my birthday being on Christmas, is if I get separate gifts. And I get a separate birthday gift and whatever Christmas gifts. And it has always been that way. Very, very important to my family to do that. But they also, I get like birthday dinner. Sometimes I do Christmas dinner. Sometimes they let me pick. But most of the time it's a birthday dinner. But same thing with, like, I do get a cake. They do, set aside some time to celebrate my actual birthday. For anybody who's also born on Christmas, what I do recommend, because I hate having to sit through while people sing me happy birthday, I think it's beyond awkward. So I make my family sing Jingle Bells. And so if you were born on Christmas or nearby, highly recommend it. It's kind of hilarious. But yeah, that that's definitely like the biggest one. And people ask me if I like it. I am not the biggest fan of Christmas. I used to think it was cool. And as I've gotten older, I kind of just don't care as much, I guess you could say. I think as I've gotten older, it's bothered me more to have my birthday on Christmas. But I actually do not love Christmas. I understand it's like a big holiday or whatever for people, but if it wasn't obvious, my favorite holiday is Halloween. I'm not sure if I've ever explicitly said it's my absolute favorite, but it is. And so being born on Christmas is weird in that regard, but it does actually make perfect sense when you realize that my favorite movie is Nightmare Before Christmas, given that I was born on Christmas and my favorite holiday is Halloween. Also, while we're talking about that, I'm sorry to break any of you guys' hearts. Nightmare Before Christmas is just not a Christmas movie, and I'm the authority on that. Obviously, I would know, but it is very good. If anybody wants my opinion, which you're here, otherwise you wouldn't care. There's a better way to say that. You wouldn't be here if you didn't care, is what I was trying to say. But the best Christmas movie ever is Muppets: A Christmas Carol, and I think any Christmas Carol iteration is probably the best Christmas movie, which I'll actually be ranking those at some point this month. Not quite sure when, but I'm very excited for that because it just gives me an excuse to watch, Muppets: A Christmas Carol again. I've messed this up somewhere and it's I'm struggling to untangle it. But yes, so the whole Christmas thing, end of the story is that my parents celebrate both. If you're also born on Christmas, please let me know why that's such, like, do you also get asked? I'm assuming you also get asked that question, but does your family, like, not make it a big deal? Because I know a set of twins that were also born on Christmas and their families also celebrate their birthdays. Like, I just don't understand where people get this idea that because you're born on a major holiday, suddenly your birthday is irrelevant or that your family won't give a shit. I just think that's fascinating. So if you're born on Christmas or any major holiday, please let me know, like, how your family does that. Do they celebrate your birthday too? So I have like bullet points written down. So we're just gonna jump into something possibly a little bit heavier, if you want to say that. I really need to get batteries for this thing. This is gonna look so stupid just sitting up there with no batteries. Anyways, next bullet point. What are lessons I've learned as an adult? Or what I would tell my younger self. I think tell myself that I'm allowed to be a work in progress, and I think that's something that a lot of people need to learn to live with, is that you are a work in progress. There is no end goal. You won't just suddenly one day wake up and be like, this is it. This is what I've worked my whole life for. Because you always just kind of just live your life and work up to death. That's what you work up to. Like, I'm sorry, but you live to die and that's that. But You can live every day and however you feel like. And if it takes you longer to get to your goals, or if it takes you more steps than your peers, and that's fine, because this isn't a linear path. Life is not. Nobody knows what they're doing with life, is what I'm saying. I feel like we were lied to a lot as children, because it seemed like you were told that as soon as you became an adult, you'd have your life figured out, or there was like this big push to know what you're going to be doing after high school. And it's like, no, because even people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, I'm sure my grandparents don't know what they're doing some days. So I just think that we need to tell our children that not everybody knows what they're doing, and that's okay. And I think that's what I would tell my younger self, is that just enjoy being who I am and figuring out who I am too, because that is also not you hit an age and you're like, I know exactly who I am, because everything changes all the time. Your likes, your opinions, your tastes in clothing, music, whatever. So just like embracing like who you are at every stage of your life. I would say that to everybody. But yeah, I think that that's something younger me would really appreciate. Something that people talk about so much, I would say recently-ish in the last few years, is like this idea that Christmas doesn't feel like Christmas anymore. And I kind of agree to a degree. I think that it feels different being an adult and doing all these things, because when you're a kid, you don't really have to worry about giving presents, sorry. And it just kind of is what it is. Like, your family did all that stuff for you. So now that you're an adult and you have to do all that, you have to create the Christmas magic. It doesn't feel the same because people aren't doing it for you. And it's a different kind of fun, I think, is how I would say it. Because I love gift giving. And so now that I'm an adult and I don't know, have more empathy or can understand other people better, I feel like I give some pretty good gifts. Also, what do we think of these snowflakes? These are very difficult to cut out because they're so small, so please tell me that they're good. I don't care if you disagree, just please tell me that they're good. But I will say that this year, Christmas kind of feels like Christmas this year. I don't really know how to explain it, but I've cared more this year that it's Christmas time, if that makes sense. It also could just be me being a fat ass because I was so excited for all the Christmas treats to be in stores. That was amazing. I've spent way too much money on Christmas treats so far. But I think part of it feeling like Christmas again is going out of your way to do stuff that can make you like nostalgic for Christmas past. Like, my family makes eggnog, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, and that's just something that we've done for so long, and it tastes and feels like Christmas. Or my mom and I, every year for 10 years now, have made a Christmas treat called Divinity, which is sugar and egg whites. It is not good for you, but it tastes pretty good, and that's just something that we do. And so if we make that, it feels like Christmas. And so I think like going out of the way to intentionally do that stuff might help a little bit. And then last thing before I shut up, even though this video is not that long, is what am I looking forward to next year? And the answer is, I have no idea. I don't do the whole New Year's resolution because the whole thing with resolutions are that if you're going to do it, it's recommended to do it halfway through the month or towards the end, because you're more likely to actually do it, and that to like stick to your New Year's resolution, you have to do it, or any resolution, you have to do it every single day or set a very strict schedule until it just becomes something that you do, which for a lot of people just doesn't work. Also, I made a little wreath. How cute is that? I'm hoping that those look like holly berries because they're just kind of looks like caterpillars. The whole thing with like New Year's resolutions is I don't make them because there are so many that you just don't follow through on, and I don't want to sit here and say I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z and then feel like a failure or disappointed in myself because I couldn't reach these goals, whether attainable or not. So I don't do the whole goals thing. I've learned that about myself, which is fine. I also, if you feel disappointed every year, just stop making New Year's resolutions. Like, it's really not that big a deal. You can say that I'm going to learn to do, you know, love myself a little bit more. I'm gonna be more in tune with myself. That's not something that you can necessarily fail at doing. So make it something that, like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out perfectly. And that's kind of what I have started doing. But I think if I'm gonna say I'm looking forward to anything next year, it's just like the next round of books that I'm gonna start reading, which I have no idea yet. I have not planned that far ahead. I did bookmas. I've not finished. I haven't even filmed one video yet, but I have all those books. I think I have like 14 more books to read for this year, which is crazy. And at the end of the year, I'm going to be doing at the end of the month, it is the end of the year. At the end of the month, I'm going to do a ranking of all the books that I've read this year. I already know which one is going to be 0, or however the hell you do rankings. I'll figure that out. But I'm going to do a ranking video for that. And I know that people think that my lowest rated is going to be Housewarming by Essie Lynn's, because that's like my most negative review on this channel. It's not. My least favorite book is going to be something deceptive. I'm gonna put it on the screen if I can find it. It was terrible, and I need to do a review on it. I just really, really don't feel like rereading that book because it was awful. It was just atrocious, and so I'm not looking forward to rereading it. But if it stops other people from reading it, kind of feels like a win. So maybe next year, if I really feel like doing that to myself. I do think that when I do book reviews next year, that I want to get through my TBR more than anything, rather than like online Kindle books. Ebooks is the one I was looking for. Just because I have so many physical books, but it is so much easier because I prefer a physical book. Don't get me wrong, if I can hold a book, I'm way happier. But I do a lot of these video scripts while I'm at work. And I don't want to sit there because I'm a receptionist, basically. I don't want to sit there and have a book in my face when these clients walk in. So it's not a great look. So I just have it up on my computer and I can just like go through it online for whatever Kindle book I'm reading. And so that makes it easier. But I think I'm going to pull back and only set like a very, very small goal, like maybe like one book a month, maybe. Physical book, and so that I can actually get through my TBRs. But I also know that I'm gonna get a ton of books for Christmas, so gotta get through that. Some other stuff I'm doing this month. So I have so many advent calendars. So I got a wine advent calendar, which I will probably do like YouTube shorts or TikToks for, and then maybe like a compilation at the end of the month if I remember. My mom got me one that's for loose leaf tea. Probably won't go through that one as quick just because I don't feel like tea every single day of my life, especially not when I don't know if I like the flavor or not. I don't want to go through that. So that's, yeah, but I appreciate the gesture. But also my parents did, they set up a table by our, I don't know why I need to mime that out for you guys. A table by our Christmas tree. And it is a homemade advent calendar, which has 24 items leading up to the 25th. And then the 25th I'll get my actual birthday present. But I thought that's really cool. My parents want me to open it in front of them, so I probably won't. Obviously they want me to open it in front of them. I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. But I may or may not get footage of that, so if I do, then it would probably be in the same video as the wine advent calendar. But you guys, let me know what you guys are doing advent calendar wise, because I still want a little chocolate one. I don't need 4 advent calendars, I'm gonna be honest. I know I don't, but I still kind of want a little chocolate one. So if any of you guys are doing that, please let me live vicariously through you. Please tell me if you're doing a chocolate advent calendar and which one. Oh, because I know there's so many different ones. Like you have like the normal like little cutout ones, but I know like Cadbury does them and it's different. I need to stop talking about food. But there's that, and then I don't really think I've explained bookmas yet. And well, it's the 5th of December. It's not actually, it's still November when I'm recording this, but it is the 5th of December when I upload this, I think. Maybe the 6th, maybe a little bit after that. Anyway, happy December. But, I, starting on the 13th, I believe, I'm going to start, Bookmas, which is just going to be 12 days leading up to Christmas, where I do a book review every day, which is going to be so much effort, so don't expect many other videos from me. I know I say don't expect too much more from me, but there are other videos that I have planned. I'm not even gonna look. We're just gonna, just whatever I remember. What do I remember? Oh, I'm gonna be ranking all of the Christmas Carol movies and TV shows, or what do you call them? Whenever it's a short they take. I'm thinking of one in particular. I think it's a show, but it's just the story broken up into different parts. But I'm gonna rank all of those that they have out because the Christmas Carol is a very, very popular story, and there's so many ways that you can take it because it's just a story about I don't know how to even explain why I think that's good. But no, like the whole like past, present, future thing, I think that's important to a lot of people, kind of like make you think. And so there's so many different ways that you can do a Christmas Carol story. So I want to rank all of those that I can find if you have a recommendation, because I know two that I'm ranking. Obviously, we're watching Muppets A Christmas Carol, obviously. And then there's one that Hulu did that's like a 5-part show. Maybe it's 3 parts. It's something of a show, and I didn't like that one. I was so excited for it, and I didn't like it. So we're going to talk about that. But we're doing that, and I might review A Christmas Carol, the book, if I think about it, because I have that as a physical book, but I don't know if I really want to do that too. We'll see, because that's a lot of books. I'm also going to be kind of like telling you guys like a quick little bit about all the Christmas movies that I'm watching this year, because I can just throw them on at work super easy. I don't even have to like watch them. But I'm going to be doing that, so I'll probably rank those. I'm also going to be doing a drinking game with my mom, because that's fun. I'm not going to record that because she doesn't want that on the internet, which is totally fine. So I'll be doing that. I'll be ranking every book that I've read this year. I think other than that, there's not too much more I'm doing beyond Bookmas, just because that's going to take a lot out of me, and also it is still my birthday month. So yeah. Also, I'll show you the cake that I get whenever I get it. So obviously towards the end of this month. But I'm doing a custom cake, which is like the first time in like 20 years now that I actually do that. Also, because I still have a little bit of time, I thought that I was gonna take less time than that. Just a little like life update. Let's see, life updates. I'm going to start taking a class next semester. I think I'm going to do creative writing. I'm doing one more round of edits this month for my first book. And then I'm going to send out query letters next month, so wish me luck on that. I'll probably publish a couple more short stories to my blog if anybody's interested. Maybe just some general life updates or stuff that I think about while I'm at work. I'm so sorry if that was loud. I can't tell, so I was just trying to jam this stuff back in this box, so I apologize if that was loud. But I'm doing that. I'm very excited. I can't wait to share that with you guys if anything comes of it, which will probably be like several months, if not years to come. But I'm very excited about that. General life stuff. Oh, I went to a speed dating event, which I posted about on Instagram, but I didn't tell you guys here because nobody really cares. Being undeterred, I went to a speed dating thing, and it was super interesting. You'll have to let me know if you guys have ever done a speed dating thing. This was at a bookstore. I was like really excited. It was fine. I met a couple of people. Really nothing huge. I've been on a couple of dates, but I don't know if I like want to date again, because it wasn't that I thought I was necessarily like super ready, because I've said this several times now. I was in an abusive relationship for 4.5 years-ish. And so now that I am out of that relationship, I took a while to figure out if it was that I don't want to date because of like the trauma from that relationship, or if I just don't want to date. And the dates that I've been on have been fine. Like the guys are like super nice and the women are great, but I just don't know if I ever want to date or share my life with another person. I think the consensus so far has been no. And so I'm just kind of happy that like I did this speed dating thing for friends, but you have to let me know like how you guys did like that. If you got out of an abusive relationship, what was like your timeline to date again? Because I'm at over a year now out of that relationship and I am very happy single. I know that like that feels like a cop-out, but if I want to be in a relationship, I could. I just don't want to. And I think like growing up, I think this is another thing that falls back to expectations or how you thought your life was going to go. I have never once in my whole life envisioned living with or getting married to someone as being a dream of mine or a goal. I am, and always have been, okay with being single. I believe myself to be enough, and so I've never really thought about that. Please don't eat that. So that's neither here nor there, but it's just one of the things that like, it feels weird because as a woman especially, growing up, I was always told, well, when you find the right person. And for a long time I thought that was gonna be Shigo from Kim Possible. My God. But oh, you're gonna find the right person, and then it's all gonna fall in place. You're gonna have a beautiful wedding, you're gonna have kids, you're gonna have this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, I don't want any of that. Like, kids are not in the cards for me. That I know for a fact. But I don't know if a partner is either, because I never really thought about it. I always envision myself, even now I envision myself buying a house myself and living alone with my cats and being very happy with that. My family's very close, and so I'd have my family, and that's what matters. And I wouldn't have to compromise. My life could be my life. And if I wanted to move to France for 2 years, I can do that without having to worry about it if like my partner wants to do that. And so I think it feels like I'm behind in certain ways. I feel like there's pressure to feel like I'm behind because some of my best friends have children. One of my friends is pregnant with her 3rd child, and I think she's younger than I am. But like, she's so happy, and I'm so happy for her, and I adore that for her. But like, it just feels like there's this invisible pressure of people being like, or society being like, well, you are single and you don't have children. And so not necessarily to say I was peer pressured into going to speed dating, but I think I've learned that like I don't think I'm really somebody to date. Or if I'm probably not gonna like follow through. Like, I want to be friends, and it's been fun, but I just don't think that's for me. And I don't think that I should be made to feel broken for that, you know? But that's part of figuring out who you are. And I think that little 16-year-old me realizing that we're not dating anymore would feel like a travesty, because I used to love to date. I used to love to go out with people and do that kind of stuff. And I had a boyfriend for a long time. I've had a girlfriend for a long time doing that sort of thing. But I think like this last few years has just shown me like who I am and what I want. And I'm almost 25, which means my brain is supposed to be fully developed. So I feel like this is who I am, and this is who I'm gonna end up being. And that's crazy to think about. But Amelia has to let me know like kind of like what you think about that. Did you envision yourself being married? I know women a lot are told that they should. But if you're a man, please let me know. Like, did you feel like pressure from your family or from friends to like get married or like have a partner or stuff like that? Like, and you know, if you're married or with somebody, do you see yourself getting married? Do you see yourself being single? Like, what's your guys' outlook on it? Because I'm nosy. Let there be light. Let's go. I also threw up some little pipe cleaner garland on here, but I just drilled a little hole in it. Didn't come with that, obviously, So we're gonna see if I can feed the light through, because I've done it before. I think I might have just used the top part, but I don't feel like unwinding everything from the tree, so bear with me. So you can't even see it. Nope, you can't even see it. It's there. You know what? You can't even see it from the front. You can't even see it because of the train in the way. It's fine. What do we think of that? That's so cute. I love that. My cat's going to try to eat that, so now I have to figure out where I'm going to put this every day so that my cat doesn't get it, because I don't need to eat pipe cleaners. But he loved this tree when I had it last year, so we'll see. And you'll have his little setup. It's whatever. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so that's all that I have for you today. Happy December. Thank you for sitting here and listening to me ramble about absolutely nothing and also everything all in one. This is a little sadder than I anticipated. A little bit heavier, but I think this was really gonna like talk about, like vent about, because like it does feel weird that I'm about to be 25 and that this is just my life, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, I appreciate you guys sitting here and listening to me chat shit. You'll have to let me know how you guys are decorating for Christmas. Do you celebrate Christmas? I should also ask that. Do you celebrate Christmas? If not, why or what do you celebrate instead? Because one of these days I will do a video about other religious holidays. But I just do not currently know enough about them, and I don't know anybody who celebrates those other holidays, and so I do not feel like I have a right to speak on them, knowing nothing. And while I do not celebrate Christmas as a monotheist, my family is, for the most part, so I just do what they do. So I know a little bit more about it, and so I feel more confident to speak on it. Also, please tell me present suggestions or what you're gonna get your family, because I need suggestions and recommendations for my own family, because my sibling knows I'm getting him paint. That's what I'm getting my sibling for Christmas, is he wants paint because he wants to paint his room, which is great. That gives me an idea. What else am I supposed to get him? Who gets their sibling just paint for Christmas? So any recommendations would be great. Don't know what I'm gonna give my mom. Don't know what I'm gonna give my stepdad. I know I'm getting my cat. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I forgot one more thing. Look at that. Look at that. Oops. Oh, I just realized. Okay, so I'm an idiot. So I went to Big Lots because I swear it was open already, but apparently the Big Lots near me, which I guarantee was open before then, had a grand opening. Pretty sure it's a reopening, but that is neither here nor there. And so I got like all these cute little stockings, and they have initials on them. And so this is for Andy, of course, and this is for my brother, whose name starts with a T. And this one's mine. But I'm an idiot and got my actual initial instead of an E. So I'm gonna put up these two with the A and the T. And then sometime in one of the videos it's just gonna appear. But also I say that, I don't think I'm doing like any videos over here. So I may end up actually tacking these to my filming wall for my, I almost said tea time and true crime. Where is my brain? For my Reading Nook reviews series. I might just pin it up over there. Not that I have a ton of room, but I might do that once I actually get an E and use my brain for once. I don't know what I was thinking. But I could also use an A for what will be my name. So I might just get an additional A or an L. For Lex instead of my name. I feel so stupid. That's so funny though. But let's go ahead and throw these up. I'm also going to fill these. Obviously not for Andy. Andy doesn't actually need anything. Although the year before, I did actually fill it with like candy canes and stuff. But I'm gonna fill it for my brother. That's Andy. For my brother. Here we are. That's so cute. Andy looks so good. I have little socks for him. I'll try to find his little baby socks. And he also has a little Santa hat. But actually that was all that I have for you guys today. I'm gonna stop rambling. Let me know if you guys have any advice for turning 25 or for getting older, because I would greatly appreciate it. Any insight would be fabulous. But I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.